Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I approach making beats on the Electron Syntakt, as well as what is my thought process as I go into creating a jam, and then what is my next process into going towards finishing the track. So I'm not going to make this a super long video, but you are going to get the overview of my approach. Ready, set, let's go. Hey, what's up everybody? Sky Deep here. And as you know, if you're not new to my channel, I love jamming on my machines. And especially, I have a lot of fun with the Electron Syntakt. Before that, it was the model cycles, and it's just been a lot of fun. And sometimes people wonder what my thought process is or my workflow is as I start to get into these things. How do I get from idea to in front of your face? All right. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the pack jam that I just did for this sound pack coming from Voltage Controller out in the US. Thank you so much for this incredible sound pack that you made. If y'all don't know him, Voltage Controller is a sound designer, musician, making crazy sounds, and has actually done a lot of the stock sounds that are inside the Syntakt. So he just recently made a pack, and I was able to get my hands on it. So grateful for that. And so I just had some fun with this particular track, going through these sounds and feeling inspired by what I'm getting from him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to break this up into 3 parts. But before I get started, hey, you know, I do this for the love. I love sharing my process with y'all. I get so much out of the YouTube community. And so this is my way of giving back. I'd appreciate you just give a like or shout out a comment down below if you got questions or you just got comments. It's cool. I want to hear what you got to say. But yeah, I'm just doing what I do, and that's all there is to it, and I'm gonna share that with you. So we have here a basic Syntakt session. My goal in this was just to use the fullness of the sounds that I got from the pack and just really pushing it to the limits as far as like what I can fit in here and keep a groove going. So straight away I have a couple of sounds going on here. In fact, right now I'm going to go ahead and start capturing this to make sure you can hear it better. So now it's recording. Boom. All right. So that is the first sound that I chose. So again, this is from his pack. That is VC Kick 02A. Here I got another one. Yeah, so I just go through these real quick so you can hear them all. Turn this master fader up a little bit. So right now it's still playing the sounds after I just finished the last jam, so it might not sound exactly how I originally made it. So I'm going to go ahead and load in the project as I had previously saved it. So that's one thing that I do. If I know I'm going to be jamming on something, one of the first things I do after I feel like I've finished the arrangement is I save the project so that when I mess everything up again, I can come back to it. But let's go back. So we have that kick drum. We have another kick drum. So if I just play only the kick drums, right? Got a nice clap in there. Juicy clap right there. So I'm just gonna play and just let's just bring all the sounds in. Okay. That snare kind of sounds almost like you're spitting or something. that, I don't know, I just feel, I feel so good about that clap. Then we got right, so I got all these fun sounds to play with. You heard them in the jam if you already heard it, if you already saw the jam. But I guess my point is I kind of just go for it with making the beat. I don't really allow myself to spend too much time overthinking it. So the first thing I usually do is I come in here and I just start selecting sounds and throwing them in there if I'm working with a pack. Now, other times, sometimes I will work directly from, you know, just the raw standard sounds that come, and I tweak them and I make my own thing. And that's fun too. But sometimes you just want to get right to it. And that's why these packs come in handy. So in this case, I just went for it. This is what came out. And then eventually when I got to track number 5, after I got sort of some of the basis down, like to me, the basis of this track was, of course, the drums. But then actually this sound here. Notice how it evolves, it morphs depending on like where you hit it and when you hit it. So I found that really inspiring. So in the beginning, I think I started out with something like just some drums, not even the bass. The bass wasn't even in there yet. It was like something like this, maybe even without this. And then that's how I started. And so you'll notice that that really is kind of even just a foundation in the track. But then when I found this bass sound, I was completely, yeah. Now I filtered it down a little bit from what the original sound sounded like with the pack, because I saw the opportunity here to really work with it and play with it. So yeah. Anyway, but I put the basis in there and I played everything out using keyboard mode. So like here we are. So I just had to play that out in a way that I was happy with a few times, and I did. Then next up, again in keyboard mode, and I just did it in a regular chromatic keyboard. I didn't choose a scale or anything like that. So it's kind of just standard. So I think by standard, it just comes out in the C scale. But sometimes on other tracks, I really think about scales and putting it all together. Here, there is a dissonance, you know, there's a fighting of notes here and there, but I actually just liked it like that, so I kept it that way. So, you know, on the bass line, I'm going, wait, where'd it go? Where's my bass line? Come back, bass. Oh yeah, I gotta put my keyboard right? So I was doing that there, but then when I go to track 5, right? So that's what I was doing there. If I go back to my bass, totally different situation, but I just like how they fight. You know, sometimes in life we fighting. That's all I'm saying. So there's a little bit of fighting going on there, but somehow it works for me. And then just to give it some extra texture, I have a few other things in here. So I'm going to come out of keyboard mode and bring in some of my texture-y items. So it's this one. Let's bring. Yep. These are sort of my textures. And in the end, by the time I get to pattern 2, I have gone into taking the original loop, the groove, and then I start to change it up so that we have some variation to work with and to play with down the line. So I have a total of 4 patterns here, so that I have places to move through and to while I'm jamming. Now, I know that there's a song mode in here, which is actually magical. It's freaking amazing. But when I'm jamming, I like to jam first and then go back and really think about the song mode after I have recorded a few jams. So let's talk about approaching the jam. So when I'm thinking about jamming, first of all, I have to go through each and every one of the sounds in the groove and play with them a bit. The first place I go is playing with the machines, and you know, really, I press the synth button and I just start messing with the parameters. I always make sure before I get to that point to go ahead and hit funk and the cogwheel to make sure I save all the patterns exactly how I like to hear them, so that if ever I mess anything up beyond recognition, I can always reload the session and we're good. So then I start to fiddle with each sound until I get what I'm going for, which is I'm looking for something that's really fun to play with and that I feel like is going to add to the performance. And so I did that. I realized that I liked playing around a lot with the bass sound. I also like playing with some of the different percussions. But at the end of the day, when you do a jam, you can't do everything. So one of my favorite things to do is definitely to do a select all and to make changes there and then bring it back and reload the original pattern. That's a lot of fun for build-ups. But when I'm approaching the jam, I'm looking for what can I do with the retrigs? What can I do with creating a fill here or there? And what parameters sound nice to mess around with and bring back? And what's a good timing? You know, I'm wondering what's a good timing before I go to the next pattern and bring it back, and how might I start and or finish a track? And I try a few different ways, and you know what? It turns out different every time. So that means I need to be able to capture it, right? One of the most exciting things that I am now starting to do is to use the Overbridge software to do the Syntakt audio capture, where I can capture each and every one of these tracks, record them as stems, so that when I jam through, I get exactly what I did, and I can, you know, constantly be refreshed or maybe even work with that as a starting point for my arrangements. So this brings us directly towards finishing a track or getting there, getting as close as possible, right? So I'm still in jam mode, but now if I want to move towards actually finishing the track, I'm going to capture everything as I jam it. And this gives me a chance to play around with it and to record my performance in a way that I can mix and match different takes of the jam in order to make it happen. So anyway, this is very exciting for me. In fact, I'm actually recording right now. So if you are looking here on the software, this is so that I can play it back for you later so you can actually see what I'm doing. But next, I'm quickly just going to pull up, I'm going to show you, but it'll be another video where I really talk to you about what's next, but give you a little preview. So here inside of my Ableton Live software, I already have my live software ready to receive info from Syntakt. I have the Syntakt plugin here. I have those tracks leading into all of these different things, all of these different channels. And when I flip over to here, you'll see that I have some stems in there from a recent jam that I just recorded. Now, when I'm recording direct into this program, I keep everything on input only. But right now I'm mixing, so I was able to take those stems from the Syntakt audio capture, and I now have them in the session, and I can do a quick mix of them, add a couple of things to it, and nearly finish the track if I felt that the jam was that hot. Otherwise, I got to do some editing, right? So there you have it. Me going from concept phase and creation to actually jamming towards actually finishing a track. I appreciate so much this whole community and the way that we share with each other. And I would love it very much if you would visit me on my homepage, my webpage. Check out what I'm up to, stay in touch for special content and sometimes other free content that I will be sharing in the near future. As well as I have a Discord channel. It would be great if you drop by. We can talk about production or jams, or if you're looking for tips, I'm happy to chime in, and hopefully we can all just support each other and collaborate maybe in different ways, or if anything, just give each other feedback about our tracks and whatnot. It would be really great to see you drop by. But for now, if you got any value out of this video, for sure, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. These things really help the channel to grow so that more and more people can benefit from them. All right? So listen, thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you on the next round.